Hallo ihr Lieben, heute wird ein super toller Tag. Wir bekommen nämlich gleich eine exklusive Tour durch die Universal Studios. Joanna, you're going to be our tour guide today, right?
That's right. Hi, I'm Joanna.
So what are you going to show us?
I'm going to take you guys out on the VIP experience. We're going to get to walk the Universal backlot and explore some of our most famous movie sets.
Sounds amazing. Wir nehmen euch natürlich mit. Let's do it. Let's get started.
All right, let's go. We are officially leaving the theme park behind and heading into the world-famous Universal Studios backlot.
Das ist für mich jetzt echt ein Highlight, denn hier wird Desperate Housewives gedreht, Wisteria Lane. Wir befinden uns in der Wisteria Lane von Desperate Housewives.
Here we are at Amity Island, home to Jaws.
Oh mein Gott, schaut da hinten. Ja, wir sind eben hier in Hollywood, ne? Für mich als Filmliebhaber ist diese Tour natürlich der absolute Wahnsinn. Es ist so cool, ich war vorher noch nie in den Universal Studios und das jetzt hier mitzuerleben ist wirklich toll. So, this is our first stop. What are we doing now?
Well, right now we're gonna head on into the property department. It's kind of our warehouse. We house all of our props as well as our costumes. Ready to go inside?
Oh yes, yes, yes.
Let's go.
Wir sind jetzt in einer Abteilung, zu der der normale Universal-Gast eigentlich gar keinen Zugang hat. Das exklusive Kostüm-Department. Hier sieht man die Kostüme aus Snow White and the Huntsman. Oh, from Bridesmaids. I could wear that.
Yeah.
Dieses Brautkleid trug Paris Hilton. Aber sie ist nicht besonders vorsichtig damit umgegangen, so wie es aussieht. What did happen that she had?
I haven't seen that. I'm wondering it's either blood. I don't know what happened in the movie, or maybe she had something spilled on her. Like maybe it was like red wine. Because who drinks that at a wedding?
Wir sind hier wirklich im Kostümparadies. Also wenn ihr mal ein Kostüm für Halloween braucht, dann schaut einfach bei Universal vorbei.
So here at the costume department, they're building all kinds of costumes based on what our filming needs are. Sometimes they're building them totally from scratch, coming up with the ideas, putting them together. We have over 1 million costume items just here on this floor alone.
Do the stars sometimes come here to try them on, or does that happen somewhere else?
They do. Not everyone, not all of them, but they do come here for fittings sometimes, try things on. So this is actually a really top secret area. A lot of times people are not allowed up here because you never know who you might run into in the hallway. Gotta give it a little knock, it's so secret.
Giant shoes. Hier, ich halte hier meine kleinen Füßchen. Ich halte mal meine Füße daneben. Nur mal so als Vergleich, damit ihr zu Hause seht, was die hier machen. Ja. E.T. hat sich extra für uns heute schick gemacht. But this is not the real E.T., right?
The real E.T. I think this guy hung out outside of a gift shop for a little while. We used to have the ride here as well. But he's one of the last ones we have that's actually the right size as E.T. from the movie, because apparently Steven Spielberg had them all destroyed afterwards because he didn't want E.T. just showing up in other random movies. But it is my personal opinion, I don't know if this is true, my opinion is that he probably has like an E.T. figure hanging out in his living room or just something somewhere at his house. He probably didn't get rid of all of them.
He probably does, I think you're right.
He just has one hanging out at home.
We're at the food department.
Yeah, so this is the property department, and there are over 1 million items on this floor alone, but we are a giant rental facility. So basically each item has a barcode on it, and people can come through, they kind of shop around looking for what they want, and then they'll scan out each item, and then we know kind of what's gone, and then they've got to bring it back to us. So anybody can actually rent from the prop department.
Really?
Yeah, you could get some stuff for a party, bring it back. You just have to have the right insurance and you have to be willing to pay for it. That's about it.
So here are all the food props.
Yeah, so all kinds of food props. We can't use real food most of the time on screen because it's going to go bad pretty quickly. The lights kind of just make it look bad. And especially if it's something just sitting in a display case. If they're actually eating the food, it will probably be real.
Sure.
This is cool. I guess I want to get a shot of this. So this, these are hold tags. So when people are coming through, like set decorators, people who are setting up all of the sets, they're going to come through and they're going to like look through all the aisles, decide what they want. Some of the bigger stuff that they can't take with them right then, they're going to put a hold tag on it that says we're going to come back for this. So you can see over here some of the cool things that have been out here. Some of my favorite shows: Grey's Anatomy, Shameless, Entourage. So you never know who you're going to see on the hold tags, and some of these are actually a little secret. Sometimes things are very top secret, so we'll use like a code name or some kind of picture. Can you guess what this was from?
Let's see.
There's a number 3. He's holding a glass of hooch.
Okay, I don't get it. What is it?
We don't get it. The Hangover 3.
Oh my, yeah,
right?
Sure. So but I thought he was a clown. So
kind of does look like a clown. So that's how we might do that genre. That was the code name for Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So sometimes we want to keep things on the down low a little bit. We don't want everybody to know, so we'll give it a code name instead. So it's kind of fun to find out what they use afterwards.
Ooh,
Weird.
das fasst sich aber echt seltsam an.
These are playing cards from the Flintstones, so you know, carved into the stone. So we still have some of those. So frying pan. In real life, if somebody were to come up and hit you in the head with a frying pan, it's going to hurt, right? So feel this. This is like made out of...
You can try it. Do it.
Okay, are you sure?
Yes, do it.
Okay.
Es hat wirklich überhaupt nicht wehgetan.
So this is Little Europe. Basically, we use this area if we want to create a European setting, but we don't want to fly overseas. So all we got to do, you want to walk through? Yeah. We just change out language on the signs, we switch up the set dressings, and presto. Anywhere in Europe that we want to be. So we do that because then we can have control over this whole area rather than a European street where we would maybe run into some issues there.
Right.
And it's more cost effective if we just stay right here. Don't have to fly everybody overseas. We don't have to worry about equipment, traveling, things like that. So Little Europe has been used extensively over the years, but probably most notably in our movie monster films. Universal is sort of synonymous with the horror genre. We kind of invented those movie monsters with classics like Dracula, and we also had Frankenstein, The Mummy. So a lot of those were filmed right here in Little Europe. You know, this area was actually originally built to be Germany for a movie called All Quiet on the Western Front. It's the first Universal film to ever win an Academy Award for Best Picture.
Unser nächster Stop ist jetzt Bates Motel.
So Bates Motel, one of the longest standing sets in history. You can see the hotel right here, the motel, and straight up the hill, the Psycho house from Alfred Hitchcock's hit thriller, Psycho.
So since when is that set here?
Way back from the 1960s, and it actually started out as sort of just a front and a side, and then they added in 2 of the sides, so the back and the other side of the Psycho house up on the hill, so that when the trams go by it looks like a full house. It's actually completely hollow in the middle.
So Alfred Hitchcock was shooting here, right?
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Alfred Hitchcock here on the Universal backlot. That's one of Alfred Hitchcock's trademarks, is his cameos in the movies. In most of his movies, he makes an appearance. And originally that started because, you know, background actors, people who are walking through the backgrounds of scenes, things like that, he couldn't afford them when he first started out. And so he started doing that himself. So he did some work behind the camera and in front, but people started noticing that he was in his movies. So when Psycho came out, he was so adamant about it that his appearance needed to be within the first, 4 minutes of the film, because he wanted to make sure that people were actually watching the movie instead of just watching for him.
Das hier war das Set von Krieg der Welten. Das hier war das Set von Krieg der Welten von Steven Spielberg. And I think Tom Cruise came out from there, right?
Right over here. That's exactly right. So Tom Cruise and his kids are looking for his ex-wife, so they come to her house, her neighborhood, and that night, all these horrible things are going on, and Steven Spielberg knows that it's scarier when you can't see what's happening. So basically they're just hiding out in a basement and you just hear all the sounds of what's going up top. So he's got his kids with him, and then the next morning they resurface and they see this giant plane crash. And so that's what this site is that's taken over here. We used a real airplane. That is a real Boeing 747, wow, purchased and destroyed for the movie because Steven Spielberg doesn't do anything halfway. He wanted a real airplane, so that's exactly what he got.
And I just heard the story that some pilots thought this would be a real plane crash.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there were some pilots that had flown over the area and had seen the plane crash, and of course called it in. And there were numbers on the plane that they could call in and say it was this airplane. And we had to say, oh, that's actually a movie set. And so they covered those up. They kind of nixed those out so we wouldn't have more problems like that when people would see this, because this set's been here for a long time. Right. I don't know if you noticed some of there's houses that are up here around in the hills, the Hollywood Hills area. This is their backyard. So this is what they see. When we built this, we told them it would be here for 6 weeks. That was in 2005. Okay. So it's been a really long time. But their backyard is a movie studio, so it's kind of cool.
That's pretty fancy. They can't complain about it.
Exactly.
Oh, wow, what's happening here?
So this is some of the effects for when the trams come through. We kind of bring the scene to life. We've got the lights on the police car. We start spinning some of the turbines. We have car alarms going off, some smoke effects, so it looks like this just happened.
So you get the full experience.
Exactly.
Oh, and now we're starting.
Yeah, so here come the alarms. The tram's going to come through and see this. So it really feels like they're in the middle of the movie, like this just happened.
So this space is actually still used today, right?
Yes, absolutely. We film out here all the time. Things like insurance commercials, some TV shows have filmed out here, like Community. America's Next Top Model used this for a zombie photo shoot. But it's also a pretty neat investment. We train search and rescue dogs out here. We have a whole disaster area that they can come, and we bring out actors and volunteers, and they kind of hide amongst the debris, and it trains the dogs to find them in a real disaster situation.
Steven Spielberg macht keine halben Sachen. Dieses Flugzeug ist echt, eine echte Boeing 747, die extra für diesen Film gekauft und zerstört wurde. Thank you so much. It was so interesting.
Welcome. I'm so glad.
And all the information you gave us, it was so exciting because I didn't know a lot of things.
Yeah, so you learn something new, get to check it out, get to experience a movie studio, and walk in the footsteps of some of Hollywood's biggest stars.
Wow, was für ein Tag hier in den Universal Studios. Wir haben die exklusive VIP-Tour bekommen. Joanna hat uns alles gezeigt. Wir haben so viel gesehen und so viel neue Infos rund um die Filmwelt bekommen. Und ich hoffe, ihr zu Hause hattet Spaß.